Hey there, so you may have created a voice using voice design or instant voice clone and there is no settings to share it. Elevenlabs does not let you share a voice. So in this video I'm gonna share two workarounds that you can do. But just so you know, there is no hidden setting or quick way to share a voice. Maybe if you subscribe to the business plan or the enterprise plan, then you can add more people to one account and that way share a voice, but I figure you don't want to do that. So the first and most obvious and easiest workaround to do is to actually render 5 minutes of audio with the sound that you want to share, and then you just drag and drop the audio that you rendered, and as you can see it's 4 minutes for me. And so this way you'll basically have your own clone of this voice, so it's not sharing the voice but basically cloning it, which is almost the same. But for this to work, the person you're sharing the voice with needs to have their own account and their own credits. The cloned voice is fairly accurate, and this might not be the solution that you're looking for, but I think this is the best solution and the simplest way to quote-unquote share a voice in Elevenlabs.
Subscribe to the channel.
But there is another way to share a voice, which is using an API key. So this method is more advanced, but whenever someone uses your voice, they will use your credits. So they don't even need a subscription with Elevenlabs, they can just use your shared voice and consume your credits. Okay, so if you don't know how API keys work, don't worry, I didn't know it either. But basically what you can do is build a website like this, and you can type whatever, and you can share this website with your editor, and they can just use it, and whenever they generate audio,
hello,
your credits will be used, and you can just simply track their usage. API request, as you can see, 1 today. I know building a website for this seems excessive, and if you're good with the first method, then I wouldn't recommend this. But as I said, this is something you can set up once and share with as many editors or friends as you'd like. Okay, so the steps are pretty simple because I already wrote the code. I have this public repository that you can use. So basically all you need to do is copy this URL. I will provide it in the description, and then you have to go to render.com. If you don't have an account yet, then you have to sign up and go to dashboard. Here we are going to deploy a web service, so just click here and click public git repository, and you will just write the URL here, which is my public repository that I shared in the description, and you're just gonna click connect. Now you can give it whatever name you want and leave these settings unchanged. You want to make sure that the build command is exactly this. As for the start command, we are going to change that. So this is going to be the start command. I have no idea what it does, but it works. That's all we care about. I will leave this in the description as well. You want to click free, and this is the most important part, the environmental variables, because you may ask, how does the web service know to use your credits and your voice ID? And this is where we're gonna provide all of that. So as for the voice ID, you just go here and find your voice and click these 3 dots, and you just click copy voice ID and you paste it, and you want to write Elevenlabs voice ID, and it's gonna look something like this. And next you want to write Elevenlabs API key, and you can find the API key right here in this developers option. You just click API keys, and as you can see I already have a bunch of API keys, but you can just click create key and name it whatever you want, and click text to speech access, because this is what you're gonna use. You want to use the text to speech feature. I mean, the website only can do text to speech, so don't click anything else. And you can set a monthly limit, which might be smart. You just click create API key, and here you want to copy this to your clipboard and make sure never to share this API key with anyone, because whoever have access to this API key can basically generate audio, generate voiceovers using your credits. Don't give out the voice ID either. And we are going to add one more variable, which is something that ChatGPT suggested. I'm not sure if it's essential or not, but I'm just gonna add it anyway. And this is a Flask secret key, which can be anything. That's it. You just click deploy web service, and in theory, if you did everything right, then it should create a website. And once it finishes, you can just click this link. Alright, so the build finished, and now it says available at your primary URL. Let's just click this And as you can see, this is the website, and I can just generate whatever voices I want. I mean, audio I want.
Hello.
There you go, and you can download this and choose the location for the file. Okay, just before I continue, I must say that I consulted with ChatGPT, and this is indeed a legal way to share a voice on Elevenlabs. But the website must be strictly for internal use, and you should never publicly share it, because that's against their terms of service. And right now, anyone with the URL can access the website, so it's highly recommended to add a password at least. Alright, so there is a few things I want to mention. First of all, if you have some coding experience, you can just copy this repository and modify the code, because currently I made it so that there's no settings, so you can't change the style or speed or anything like that for the voice. And a reason for that is I'm using Elevenlabs v3, so the latest, most advanced version, which, as you can see, only has a stability slider which can take only 3 values, so I thought there's no point in adding any sliders. For example, if you want to use the v2 version, you can add an environment variable just like ChatGPT suggested. So you can change the model if you want, but this one works great for me, although it might not be very consistent with every voice. With v3 you can also add tags to your text.
Hello. Subscribe to the channel.
So you can basically share the URL of the website with anyone you want, but just be aware that whoever has access to this website will be able to generate voiceovers using your credits. So don't share this URL unless you trust the person. And again, adding a password or authentication is highly recommended. So this way, if you have multiple editors, you can share this website with all of them and they can generate audio using your credits. And they don't even need an Elevenlabs subscription, they can just use your website and generate as many audios as they want. Now there are a few downsides, which is when you generate voices here on the website, you'll get 2 generations.
Subscribe to the channel.
And also, as you can see, I have 2 free generations, so if I click again, I just regenerate the same text without consuming any credits. So basically I get 6 generations for the same amount of credits, while here each time you click the generate audio button, you'll consume credits. So that's one thing. And another thing might be that since we click this free option, sometimes when you haven't been using the website for a long time, you'll have to wait for it to wake up, which may take like 3 minutes. But you're hosting a website for free, so that's great. So these are the 2 options. Pick whichever you'd like. Modify the code however you want, but if you don't want to do that, then you can just use this repository, copy link, go here, deploy web service, do these steps, make sure that the start command is exactly this, the build command is exactly this, and make sure that you provided the environment variables correctly, and make sure not to share it with anyone. And that's about it. If you have any questions, make sure to let me know in the comments, I'll try to help you. But in theory, if you follow the steps correctly, everything should work fine. If you're new to Elevenlabs, you can register using my affiliate link in the description. I hope this video helped. Goodbye.